Welcome, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Debt Ain't My Daddy. I'm your host, LJ Young. How are you guys this wonderful Sunday morning? Man, beautiful, beautiful. All right. Let me bring up my notes. It's going to be yet another teaching moment. Another teaching moment, all right? Especially if you live in the debt matrix. For those of you that are new to my channel, my name is LJ Young, and I am a 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them financially see outside what I call the debt matrix. The debt matrix is a place where everybody lives that believes in credit and debt. They believe financing everything that depreciates. Depreciation means things that go down in value. Financing cars, washer and dryers, shoes, furniture, dishes, you name it. People love financing it for two reasons. Because, well, they don't know this, but because they have no money and they believe they're building their credit, right? Everything is credit, okay? All right, anyway, and now I lived there for the first 40 years of my life. I did. That's where I lived before my eyes opened up. Then now I realize 85% of Americans live there in the debt matrix, and there's 15% of us that are financially free. Now I know even people mix that up. What's financially free mean? You mean you're rich? No. What that means is that you live above zero. You live in the black. Remember what they taught us in grade school? Anything below zero is the negative. That's the red. Anything above zero is in the black. That means you have money. If you live in a negative and you live there all your life, like I did, I was living in a negative my whole entire life and didn't even know it. Okay? All right, so this is what I do. I help people out. And how I do this, I expose what I call glitches in the debt matrix. Okay? Now, what I teach, everything I teach can be 100% verified to be true with math. Okay? And I expose what I call glitches in the debt matrix. Glitches in the debt matrix means things that don't make financial sense, but yet people still do it, right? Math and money are one, okay? If it doesn't make mathematical sense, it doesn't make financial sense either, but yet people keep doing it. That's a glitch in the debt matrix. If you go to buy something and you end up paying more for it than what it's worth, that's a glitch. You'll never get financially ahead if you keep paying more for things than what they're worth, right? It's like you take remember like last year's iPhone, right? It's worth almost $800, right? And then the next one comes out, it makes that one less, right? But yet you still go and buy for a full price. That means you're paying more for it than what it's worth, okay? That's just an example. All right. First, I'm going to use my personal story to kind of give you an idea of how I came to this point, because I didn't wake up one day and say, hey, I knew something was wrong, but I couldn't put my finger on it. Okay. So one day something just hit me and then I figured out the steps to become debt free. This is not that point, but I want to show you what happened once I became debt free, because I've told the personal story many times, but I want the next level. Once I became debt free, I was still working. I still had my regular job, but after becoming debt free, things changed for me at work. It was just the weirdest thing. My eyes opened up to see many things I couldn't see before. It was crazy. It was crazy. But anyway, I was at work one day, and I'm debt free at this time, about a year in, okay? And I remember I was reading what's called white papers. White papers are information that I was a computer engineer, all right, for 20 years, virtualization computer engineer. And I was reading some instruction, we call them white papers, on the next upgraded feature I used to work with a software called VMware, okay? And I specifically remember reading the next version of whatever version I was working on or understanding. Right in the middle of this white paper, something said, you're not interested in this anymore. It was the weirdest thing. I don't know. I can't explain that part, okay? Right in the middle of it, it just simply said, you're not interested in this anymore. In my mind, I was like, what? Because that was my life. Computers, oh, I loved it, right? But it said, you're not and I didn't know if it was interested now or later, but right now it said, you're not interested anymore. Okay. And I remember I was trying to fight it, right? I kept trying to push through and read through it, but it wouldn't let me. So I remember at this job, now remember, once I was outside the debt matrix, I clearly, distinctly understood that there's a separation between feelings and business, emotions, and I'll come back to my story. I forgot to make this part clear. Feelings and business, feelings and money. Never mix those two, ever. I remember hearing that in the debt matrix. Never mix your emotions and feelings. But when you're out of the debt matrix, you clearly see the reason why that statement is, because they have no business being together, all right? And for those of you that are in the debt matrix, I got my notes. I'm looking at my notes here. I'm gonna give you a couple examples of what it sounds like when you mix your feelings with your money, so you guys can understand that, right? Now, if I asked you how you felt about 1 + 1 = 2, 2 + 2 = 4, 3 + 3 = 6, how do you feel about that? Does it make you warm and cozy inside? Does it make you sick? Does it make you upset? No, it's just 2, it's just 4, it's just 6, right? Period. There is no guessing. There is no, people like to say, oh, it ain't black and white. Yes, it is. Math is always black and white. One more example. Say like I was your boss, right? And you came to get your check from me, and I gave you your check. You open it up, and your check was short, right? And you look at me and say, hey, Linnell, my check is short. What's up with that? And I turn to you and say, yeah, I feel bad about that. What if I turn to you and said, yeah, and I know it's short, but I feel really bad about that. What would you say? You would say, well, I don't care about your feelings. Give me my money. That's exactly how it sounds. When you outside the debt matrix, that's what it sounds like. But when you're in the debt matrix, you add feelings. So I remember at my job, and this is my point. At my job, I remember I was fighting the feeling that this part of my life or whatever was over. So I remember applying for this particular position at my job, right? And since I was the only one that really knew this particular functioning area, because I worked hard 2 or 3 years to understand it, because there was no documentation on how it all worked. So I put it all together and applied for this position. And then they just told me no, right? They said, nah, we're going to hire somebody else and you're going to train them. And I was like, what? Now, had I been in debt, I would have been going to that job angry and mad every day. Oh man, they didn't give me that position. And just mad at everybody, right? But those are feelings. But when I was debt free and did that, I said, oh, okay. I said, yeah, I'm not going to be here. I'm saying this to myself. I'm not going to be here. I'm going to quit. And I'm going to go to a job that understands my skill. Because especially if you have a job and you know you are good at what you do, that's not a problem. If the business says no, that's that business telling you no, right? So that's how I looked at it. No, it's just you guys are telling me no. So when I left that job and got hired at another job, they paid me $50,000 more per year than the job I was working there. Ain't that crazy? Now, had I been in debt, I would have been too nervous to quit, to see my full potential. Left that job, went to the other job. I only worked there a month. I think it was more just to prove something to myself. That's what it really was. Because once I got there, I was already financially free. So the thought of being trapped in a cubicle in this other place was unfathomable. So I just left. I quit, right? Anyway, this is when your eyes open up becoming financially free. It changes more than just not having debt. There's many more things you cannot see when you're in debt. It's the weirdest thing, but I wanted to share that story with you. Okay, now it also changes the way you speak. Like if you've been in debt matrix all your life, you only speak debt. You have no idea the language of debt-free even exists. If you've always been in debt all your life, you've been stuck in survival mode and you only speak debt. And I'm gonna give you a few examples to see if this is you. If this is you, and this is the things you do, you're in a debt matrix. Okay? This is the channel you come to get out of that. I expose the glitches in the debt matrix. The things I'm going to tell you, they're going to make sense, and they're going to make mathematical sense. And if they make mathematical sense, they'll make financial sense. And then you'll see how everything works. You'll see everything. You'll say, I'm not special. I'm not telling you anything like I'm a master something. I'm not. I'm just using the math I was taught in 5th grade by my teacher, Miss Klingensmith. She taught me this a long time ago. I just didn't apply it. I would have got an F, but I was getting A's. Anyway, that's another story. Okay. All right. Let's get to the story. Okay. Let's see. I'm checking my notes here. Okay. Now, sometimes I'll go and watch videos of other people talking about debt and bankruptcy and stuff like that, right? Just to see what they're saying. See if they're teaching you from speaking debt in the debt matrix, or are they speaking from outside the debt matrix? And I swear to you, the majority of these people on YouTube that is trying to walk people like life after bankruptcy, what to do, stuff like that, they're speaking debt. Most of them they're teaching you a way, after you get free with bankruptcy, they're teaching you a way how to get back into the very thing you just got freed from. It doesn't make any sense. But when you only speak debt and you've only been in the debt matrix, it sounds like it's very intelligent. It sounds like they know what they're talking about. Yet you don't know. You don't know. You're just going by what they're telling you on a video. I promise you, if you could see their personal credit report, I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, they're in debt with a good credit score. Whatever. Doesn't make any sense. Anyway, all right, let's go to the thing. Okay. Now, bankruptcy, it is public knowledge, right? And so once you are freed, the vultures have a list that they start sending you car loans just to get you right back in debt. Even Credit Karma, Credit Karma is free, but have you noticed, like, when you're looking at your credit, they always suggest more credit cards and stuff because you don't understand. And it seems inviting. It seems like they're trying to help, but it's only business. Never take it personal. It's only business, all right? And it confuses people. And if you're in the debt matrix and you don't know, you don't understand, if you only speak debt and you don't understand how that works, you're going to get sucked right back in because you think they're trying to help you, okay? Let me give you some examples. All right, listen to this, okay? Now, when you're trying to repair your credit, now listen closely. Now, I'm going to give you 2 sides of this. Secured credit cards, okay? When you only speak debt, you don't understand what they're saying. Now, I'm going to let you hear it and if it sounds good to you, you only speak debt. And you only live in a debt matrix, okay? Secured credit cards. They always say, get a secured credit card, especially if you're just out of bankruptcy. Get a secured credit card. It will help you build your credit. You say like this credit card was $500. You give the bank $500, and then they hand you a credit card, and then you use it. Make the payments back on time. They charge you a percentage rate. It's a really low percentage rate, not really high at all. Okay, and then they charge you a percentage rate, and then you pay back the money on just like monthly payments, and then they'll report to all 3 credit bureaus that you paid back the money, and it helps build your credit. Okay. Now, if this sounds wonderful to you, right? It sounds like a plan, even if you're doing it right now and it's been working for you. Okay, you're in a debt matrix now. And you only speak debt. Now we're going to step outside the debt matrix and we're going to speak debt free. You're going to take $500 that you already have in your hand. It's in your hand. It's right in your hand. You have it already. You're going to take that $500 and you're going to give it to the bank. Here, bank, take this $500 I already have. Here you go. The bank is going to accept that money. They're going to earn a ton of interest off of it because the money you give them, they can 10 times that money by loaning it out to other people, right? They're going to triple that money, earning interest off of it, and then they're going to give you a piece of plastic. Here you go. And then they're going to charge you interest on top of making money off of your money. They're going to charge you interest for using your own money with this piece of plastic. For the privilege of them saying just like this, hey, credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, this guy paid us back his own money on time. Did you hear what I said? For the privilege of them reporting to the credit agencies that you paid back your own money on time. And they're going to charge you for the privilege of doing it. Does that make any sense? That doesn't make any sense when you step outside the debt matrix. Why would you give them money that you already have in your hand? That doesn't make any sense. Hey, okay, I worked hard. I got this money. Here you go. You think they're going to turn you down for that? That's free money for the bank. That's free money for them. But yet, when you hear it and it sounds good, that's because you're in a debt matrix. You step outside the debt matrix, that makes absolutely no sense. None. Zero. Do you see? See what I did there? That's the real. All right. Now, when I was listening to, you got these people talking about, hey, get a credit card. Only use, if you get a $300 credit card, make sure you only use 30, and make sure you're at under this particular percentage rate so you don't go over this. All this confusing, stupid nonsense. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. Who's going to keep track of all that? Nobody. You're going to get a credit card. Oh, I only can use $30 of this 300. I can't go over this certain percent. That's the stupidest nonsense I've ever heard in my life. Stupid. Outside the debt matrix. But when you're in the debt matrix, you think, oh, this person must know what they're talking about, right? Get an unsecured credit card, okay? No annual fee. When you're outside the debt matrix, you never pay a fee to have a piece of plastic in your pocket for the privilege of using borrowed money. That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, you get this credit card and you use it everywhere you would use your cash. Instead of using your credit card, instead of using your debit card, use your credit card everywhere. When you buy food, gas, everything you're going to normally spend cash on, just use the credit card. But at the end of that month, you pay it completely in full. You pay it completely in full. And I know you think, especially if you just got a bankruptcy, you have no other bills. So you can afford to do that. So the percentage rate of the card absolutely doesn't matter because you're never going to pay it anyway because you're going to pay it off in full every month, right? See how that works? And then your credit will shoot through the roof. Don't believe me? Go look at my full entire credit report. Instagram, DebtAintMyDaddy. Facebook, DebtAintMyDaddy, and see it. I don't pay interest on anything. I have no idea what the interest rate on my credit card is anyway. Don't really care because I'm never going to pay it because I pay it in full every single month well before the due date. See how that works? Now, here's another one. Have you noticed, here's debt speak, okay? Somebody goes and buys a cell phone. And when I say buy, most people finance or go finance a car. They always tell the price of the item without tax. Why do people do that? Hey, how much was that phone? Oh, it was $600. How much was that car? It was $30,000. Why do only people in the debt matrix tell the price of something, first of all, as if they paid full price for it, number one. And then they always tell you the price of the item without tax. Why do they do that? Tax evasion is illegal. Why are you saying they don't have to pay it or they didn't pay it? Why do they do that? Only people in the debt matrix speak like that. Everything has tax. Everything. The tax that comes out of your check and damn near everything you buy. If you did this, if you took 1 month and added up every single thing you pay tax on throughout that month, you can figure out how much you really make per hour, how much you really make annually. Ain't that crazy? And then also now, if you're in a debt matrix, you think, oh man, taxes are the very reason that's keeping me down. I can't get ahead. That's not true either. Now, even though I gave you that example, taxes, you start to think that taxes are the very reason you're staying broke or poor or whatever you want to say. That's not true either. Only people in the debt matrix believe that. You get outside the debt matrix, you will clearly understand the purpose of taxes, and taxes can help you build wealth because this is how you start to think. You stop thinking individually and you start thinking collectively. I'm not going to explain that here, but if you're in debt, you would never understand what I'm saying anyway. You must be out of debt to understand what I mean by that. Now, these two examples that I've given you, like the secure credit cards and taxes, if you speak like that, you only speak debt. It's time to get out of the debt matrix, people. You want to see and feel true financial freedom. Get out of debt. You have the power to get out of debt. It's no lottery winner, some special person on that's gonna no new MLM that's gonna get you out of debt fast. All that stupid nonsense. It's nonsense. I mean, it's business. Excuse me. Once you get out of debt, you can see that as business. And so if you want to get into MLM or some kind of sales, it's just business, nothing more than that. And you can be able to decipher who's trying to take your money and who's not. It's so easy to decipher. The first thing you need to do is accept that you have messed up with your money. And when I say messed up, I'm saying messed up because I don't want to curse. You need to go to the mirror and say, I effed up. It's okay. You say it loud, you say it angry. I effed up. And it's not your fault. It's a conditioned mindset that let me tell you something, you guys. When you get outside the debt matrix, it's clear that there is a hierarchy and somebody designed the system. Somebody put this system in place. Think about it. Somebody came up with this idea that said, hey, I'm going to create a piece of paper, make everybody believe in this piece of paper, and then that is valuable, right? Put different denominations on each piece of paper, and everybody's going to believe it's worth that. Somebody invented that, okay? And then when somebody invented it, they said, okay, I have to enforce this so nobody can just copy it and take it from me or whatever. I don't know exactly how it started. It's not this is not in books. It's not. But if you think about things logically, somebody had to start it. Somebody had to create an enforcement of it. So you can't just walk around just copying and create, forget it, I'm going to create my own money. I know this is off the subject, but I want to give you an example. Like this cryptocurrency. You think the entity, the person or whatever that created US dollars is going to really allow cryptocurrency to come in and wipe out US? That's not going to happen ever. That's not going to happen. That will never happen. And I guarantee you, I don't know who's behind cryptocurrency. I don't. I do and I don't. I don't factually know, but if I think about the whole structure, I logically know. All you got to do is, and how to determine this, the people that are pushing cryptocurrency, like, hey, this is the next biggest thing, I guarantee you this. Anybody that's telling you this information about cryptocurrency, right? Ask to see their personal credit report. If they're making so much money, cryptocurrency is the next biggest, baddest thing. Ask to see their personal credit report. I guarantee you they're in debt. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Don't even have to see it. But if you could see their credit report, all three of them, guarantee you they're in debt. They're just taking other people's money, you know. Oh, somebody cracked the code and somebody broke in and stole all the crypto, whatever. And then check it out, because I know this is off the subject, but I want to let you see how all this connects, okay? This is, again, I don't know who's behind it, but I do and I don't, okay? Now imagine this, somebody jumps in, starts making money in cryptocurrency, right? But in order to use that money that they are making, they must convert it from cryptocurrency back out to cash. Okay, somewhere, it has to come out. They have to do something to bring it out of the fantasy world. Okay, once they convert it, they must pay taxes on it. Now they say, oh, the government can't track it and this and that. You better not listen to people like that. You better not listen to people like that. Now listen to what I'm saying. Taxes, the IRS are almost the only entity that can put you in prison for not paying. There's a reason for that. Do you get it? Do you get the connection? They can put you in prison. But people that don't understand how this works, they think, oh man, I can get around it, and then they pull it out. Now that's a record. Don't worry about what other people. Oh, it's highly encrypted. Don't believe any of that. They pull it out. Now there's a record, and they have the IRS. They have all the time in the world to come back and knock on your door when they feel like it. Especially with cryptocurrency, there's no rules. Yeah, there's no rules, right? So there's no rules stopping them to come back at you from 5 years, 10 years, whatever. You see what I'm saying? They can knock on your door. Hey, you pulled out about $100,000 in cryptocurrency back in '98. I mean, not that it was around, but you know what I'm saying. Look back a few years, right? And what you gonna say? It wasn't me? Because usually people that do that and they get away with it, guess what? Like I always say, people in debt speak only debt, and they have a pattern. They don't even know they have a pattern. Don't even know. So they continue to keep digging themselves. Get what I'm saying? You get away with it, get the cryptocurrency, convert it back, start spending the money. Oh, they can't track it. Whatever. That's stupid debt talk. That's debt talk. They can't track it. You're only doing it for the money. Every every dollar has a track. Okay. You start digging yourself, and like I said the other day, you keep digging yourself. One day they go, you're so deep in the hole. Next thing you know, you hear somebody above your head go, "Hey!" You look up, and it's an IRS agent. You go, "Yeah, what are you doing?" "Nothing." "Yes, you are. We have records of everything you're doing." "What do you mean?" "Here you go. Look." Uh, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Well, that's too bad for you. You pay this, or else you're going to prison. See how that works? People in debt have a pattern. They don't know they have a pattern. Why? Because they only speak debt. Is this you? Do you go to a tax person, the tax person that can get you the most money? Is that you? Hey man, this person, man, this person knows their stuff, man. Somebody working out of their house. It doesn't really matter where they're working. I don't want you confused that a person that doesn't know how to work taxes because they're working at a house. No, I want you to see the people that you kind of know, you kind of hear what they're doing, and you know it sounds kind of shady. You don't even have to know about taxes, and it still sounds shady. You better not use that person. That's your intuition telling you something's not right. Don't get focused on the bait, the dollar that really doesn't exist. If you're in debt, right? You can't understand. You only speak debt. So if you're in debt, you really don't understand that money doesn't exist for you. Money doesn't exist for people who are in debt. How do I know this? Because you're in the negative. Savings, add up all your savings, add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have in real life. If if that number is a large negative number, money doesn't exist for you. So you fall, you can't hear other people. So the tax person that's riding the fence sounding shady, I guarantee you that same person is in debt too. Guaranteed. They probably owe money to the IRS. They probably owe money to the IRS. You know, it's like anybody can do taxes. You don't have to be licensed. You don't have to be nothing. You ever notice that? That's like honestly, I think that's I, uh, I don't want to say a trap. Like, let me give you an example. Okay. Anybody can do other people's taxes with no license, no experience, nothing. Why is that? Don't you ever just wonder why that is? Or like the recent one I just came across, and I've seen this all my life, right? If you look on your W-4, you could check a box and say exempt. You could just check the box and say I'm tax exempt. Now, if you're in debt, I think that box is. I can't say it's unfair because they're not making you check that box. But if you're in debt And you start thinking in your head, people in the debt matrix start thinking like, oh man, taxes are the thing that are keeping me down. And then they check that box. And then no taxes coming out of their checks, right? And then they get away with it for 1 year. And then 2 years. And then people start to think, oh man, they can't see me. There's millions of people in the US that are, you're not, first of all, you're not the only one that has checked that box. It's like a piece of chocolate cake when you can't have none. Think about that food that as soon as you say, I can't have this no more, I got to get on a diet, that food becomes the most desired food in your world. That's the same thing with that check box. And then one day the IRS sends you a letter. You ignore the letter, they're going to come knocking on your door. Do you think it's going to go away? Mm-mm. Now, not only do you owe that tax, you owe penalties and fees for checking that box and not understanding what that's just like, that is so tempting. I don't even know why they have that there. It seems like if they check it, this is what I get why they do that, because it's totally up to you. All right. Check that box. And then the first year they should come on to you and say, hey, well, you check that box and just stop you right away. But you notice they don't do that. That's more money for the IRS. Do you get it? And you voluntarily check that box. It's not, you know what I'm saying? And you're not understanding, because I remember working and I saw that box. I was like, why is that box there? You mean I could just check that box and not pay taxes? I never checked it because I didn't understand it. I was like, nah, that doesn't make any sense to me. And if it doesn't make any sense, I'm not even playing around with it. But yet people do it every day. And if you've done it, understand that you're not alone. Stop thinking you're alone. Stop speaking debt. You speak debt when you do things like that. Just think about it. You can go to prison. They have ultimate powers. They can swipe your bank account. They can take all your money in your bank account. They can get you. They have unlimited everything. Ask yourself, why is that? Because it's the backbone of the whole entire system. It's the backbone of the whole entire system. If this is you, and say like you're doing it. Say like you're doing stuff like that right now. You checking that box. You're writing stuff on your taxes that you know is not true. If that's you, or your tax person's doing it for you, because let me tell you something, all right? When that comes back, and it will eventually, because the more you get away with it, you start getting more and more comfortable, and you adjust your financial life to the level of not paying taxes. So you're comfortable. You've adjusted. You start financing more things because you believe you can afford more things, and you just lock yourself in, get comfortable, and then you get that knock on the door. Can't do anything about it. And they're just going to walk up to you and say, hey, you got to pay this. If you don't, you're going to prison. What are you going to do? You're going to do it. You're going to do everything that you should have been doing in the first place. Not, you're going to stop financing cars, houses, clothes. Hey, babe, we're going to go on this vacation. This is crazy. Watch this. This is when you're forced to do the things you're supposed to do to be financially free. They will force you to do it. Somebody call you, hey man, I'm having a wedding in Hawaii. Can you be part of it? You're going to say, mm-mm. They're going to say, why not? Because I'm going to go to prison if I don't pay the IRS back. You're going to say no. You'll notice how easy it is to say no to other people. Hey man, we're doing this guy's trip, man. You coming? We're going to Vegas. You're going to be like, nope, I'm not going. Why not? I owe the IRS money. I'm going to prison. Now, most people don't even tell people that. You're just going to say no, or you're going to make up some lie, which you should have been doing in the first place when your finances are in the negative. Notice how you're forced to say no now because of the threat of prison. These are the things, when you step outside the debt matrix, this is where you start learning how to speak debt free. It's easy to say no. I don't care. I don't care how people feel about me saying no. It doesn't matter. If I don't have the money, I say no. I really don't even have to explain myself to nobody. I just say no. Now, if you want to tell people, hey, I just don't have the money for that, Usually people in the debt matrix, they're the first to say, oh man, that person must be down on their luck. Hey, you want me to let you? People in the debt matrix offer to loan you money so you can go and do something that you can't afford to do when they don't even have the money themselves. They're speaking debt. Hey man, you don't have the money? Nah, man, no, I don't have the. I can loan you the money. They don't even know they don't even have the money to loan you the money. If their finances are in the negative, they have to literally mathematically borrow the money to give to you. Whether they know this or not, it's 100% irrelevant. Math doesn't care about how people feel about it. Math doesn't care if you said, hey man, I know 5 plus 5 equals 10, but I really feel like it should equal 11. You know what, man? I really feel like 5 plus 5 should equal 12. That would make my check bigger. Doesn't that sound crazy? That's exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. Man, these gnats. Ooh. That's exactly what they're doing. Don't be like that. This is a place where I teach you how to speak debt free mathematically, and it's just math. I promise you it's just math. Yes, you're going to be mad at yourself once you step outside the debt matrix. Yes. It took me the minimum of a year to stop speaking debt. Excuse me. Once I was out of debt, it took me a year to stop being angry at myself for speaking debt all those years. Okay. But I started to realize that if the majority of the United States speak debt, you can't help but speak it, because when you're born and you're born into it, and people just you automatically assume that that's the language you're supposed to speak about money, and it's not true. Even though you see other people rich living their lives, but you don't know, how can I say this? You don't know. People in the debt matrix despise people that have money. They think they're special, or they somehow did something no, they just understood money. They said apply math to finances and you'll be rich. It's really that simple, right? But when you're in a debt matrix, they say, oh, this person is special. The family had money. They just make up all this stuff instead of stopping and asking, hey man, how did you make that money? But listen, you must understand the language of money first before you can even talk to a person with money. And we know if you speak the language or not. If you're speaking like, hey, yeah, I'm about to borrow some money from my 401k. I'm about to get a 401k loan. I got a great deal on this finance car. Yeah, they get only 2% interest rate, only a 5%. That's debt speak. Nobody gets a finance car on sale. Nobody. Especially if only people in the debt matrix think they got a finance car like us. They're paying on a car for 72 months, 6 years, and they believe they got the car on sale. Us outside the debt matrix, we just let them speak. Hey, yeah, they speak debt. Can't say anything to them. You can't convince a person that, no, you didn't. People that believe that, hey, yeah, I got this car and I didn't have to put any money down, and they think that's a good thing. That's a very bad thing. First of all, financing a car, period, is a bad thing. Most people think it's normal in a debt matrix. And then believe that since you didn't have to put any money down on the car, you think that's even better. So you finance the whole entire thing, not realizing they're financing the car because they don't have the money to buy the car. Isn't it? It's so simple when I say it. Listen to what I'm saying. Most of the people in the debt matrix finance cars because they don't have the money for a car. Now, can you imagine this? This is a little bit off the subject, but I want you to see how this is. And people in the debt matrix are getting done so wrong, but it's business. First of all, they're financing the car because they don't have the money for the car. And usually when they come up on the car lot, they usually they're coming on the car lot with a finance car they're already upside down in, right? Meaning, now I got to make sure I say these things, because don't be embarrassed if you don't even know what these terms mean. Don't be embarrassed. recognize that you don't understand it. Drive on the car lot to trade in a car they're upside down in. And the upside down means that you owe more on the car than what it's worth. So if the car is worth 5,000, but you owe 9,000, that means you owe $4,000 more than what the car is worth. They roll it in, come in, trade it in for another car. They roll that, not only that car is valued, they roll the extra $4,000 into the new loan. And so in a new loan with the new car, you even further upside down in the car before you even have the keys. People in the debt matrix think a car goes down in value when you drive it off the lot. It goes down. It's down in value before you even have the keys in your hand. And then you drive off the car lot with this new car that you believe you have, show it off show all your friends, and you believe that you got it for the sale price. Not only did you finance the price of the car, you financed the overage into the new loan plus taxes. You're financing even taxes. See what I'm saying? Financing even taxes. And then people roll out and think they got it for the sale price, even though they're paying it for the next 72, 84 months. You can go up to 84 months on a car. You speak debt? Is that you? You only speak debt. If that's you, you only speak debt. It's a hard truth. I did it for years. Don't feel bad. Accept it. The sooner you accept it, the sooner you'll be free. It's a hardcore truth, man. But it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, I promise you. Just sit back. Like I said earlier in this video, man, when I go through finance videos on YouTube, bankruptcy, life after debt videos, I see how many people speak debt, and it angers me because that's feelings and it's business. I know what they're doing is business. I can't tell. It's very hard for me to tell if they're doing it strictly for business or they're doing it because they only speak debt. There's two reasons. There's two ways they're doing it. I can understand, but what will give it away for me if I could see their personal credit reports? If I could see each person's personal credit report, entire credit report, not their credit score. I want you guys to understand. When I think about saying or seeing their personal credit reports, their entire credit reports, not their credit score. I don't care about their credit score. I want to see their entire credit report. Their entire credit report will tell me if they're doing it for the money or they're doing it because they only speak debt. Or they're just trying to make you be like them. Because they're masking the things you can't see. They're just hiding, and they only speak debt. They'll show you stuff, props in the background. Props are fancy cars, houses, clothes, maybe a watch, whatever. When I see those videos, when I look for inspirational videos, and if I see any props in the background, I click off because they're not talking to me. They're talking to people in the debt matrix. Don't know what I'm talking about? Look at like Bill Gates, Elon Musk, the maker of Tesla, the electric car. Do you ever see them making videos with props in the background? You don't see all that stuff because it doesn't mean anything. It's just stuff. It's stuff for people that desire it, that fall for it, or the latest debt speaking people would, hey, make money in $1,000 an hour, and then they come out of this house or they come out of the bank with a stack full of money, come in the car, you get in the car, a nice little Mercedes Benz, and then they make sure they show the symbol on the steering wheel, and then they lay the money on the seat next to them and say, hey, you can make all this money. That's all props. Hey, and then send a comment saying, I want this, and then an automatic reply comes back. It's just the stupidest nonsense ever. Me and my friends just crack up. I forward that stuff. Hey, man, check out the new scam. It's just scams. But it's business. They wouldn't do it if people wasn't believing it. You see what I'm saying? That's debt speak. If this is you, the sooner you admit it, the sooner you recognize it, the sooner you will be free. I promise you. That's it. I'm done. I hope this reaches you. If you want a free 30-minute consultation, you can email me at DebtAintMyDaddy@gmail.com. If you like what I'm saying, you like what I'm doing, if I've helped you without you even reaching out to me, I have a donation link that I put on every video. Write me, tell me, send me something. There's no set amount, just whatever you feel like sending, right? It just inspires me. Plus, it helps me keep creating these videos, right? And or if you just want to email me and tell me what I've done for you, man, I really appreciate it. It inspires me, it keeps me going. And I have people that do that for me now, do that. They write me and tell me their story of what I've done for them. Not only can I help you financially free your whole life, I can help you out of the little things that you might be stuck in, that you feel like you're stuck in. You might feel like you're stuck in a phone plan that you just know how to get out of, because there's a lot of people stuck in there. Just like cars, they get on these automatic upgrade phone programs. Now you're stuck in this loop. No different than a car. Like, for example, if you're so upside down in the car, you only speak debt, right? You're so upside down in the car, you have no choice but to keep refinancing new cars, because you have no money to get out of the car. Because if you're upside down in the car, you have to pay to get out of it. And if you have to pay to get out, that means you have no money to buy a different car with cash. You have no money. So now you're stuck in this loop. Now imagine if you're stuck in this car loop and you're stuck in this phone loop. It's all business. I'm not talking bad about the businesses that do that to people. It's business. Phones, business. You're stuck in that loop, stuck in that auto upgrade of phones, and you think you're just, you start to settle with, oh man, cool, I guess I'm getting a new car. Cool, I guess I'm getting a new phone every year. You're stuck in a loop. You're just not accepting that fact because you can't get out of it. I can help you out of those plans. There's a plan for it. I can help you with the plan. Or say like this, say like you got on a family plan with multiple different people, but there's a couple of people in there that don't like to pay on time. If you cut them off your plan, you're not gonna get the phone back, right? Now you got to pay for the phone because they ain't gonna pay for it. If they're not making their monthly payments on the phone itself, to like the bill, like usually have two. They're part of the bill and they're part of the phone, or they come up short on the. I can't even imagine being trapped in that kind of thing, in that situation. Now you're stuck paying the entire bill, because if you don't, your phone's gonna get cut off too. I can help you get out of that plan too, and not even knowing the person that's coming up short. They won't even know what you're doing. You just keep them on. How to switch out of it, separate them. Yeah, you're going to have to come out of pocket. But the way I can show you to do it, they won't know that you're doing it, because it'll be spread out over a few months. And then one day you're going to say, hey, person, you're on your own now. They won't even know how, why. You don't have to cut them off. They'll still be working, but they'll be on their own. I know how to do that. Same thing with your cable bill, car insurance, anything. It doesn't matter. I always have a way. I always have a plan to help you out of it or lower it, whatever. Okay? Even those little things that can help you, you'll start to see. If I start you with one, right? And then you'll see, damn, I could have been saving hundreds of dollars per year if I had done this. Yeah. And then you're going to want to know the next one that I know about. Then I'll show you. And then the next one, and then it'll spiral and it'll keep going. You'll be like, man, what else you know, El? What else you know? The things I share, I haven't found it on YouTube, Googled it, nothing. Nothing. I don't find these ideas. I don't find them. But you can't see it even if I wrote about it, unless you're outside the debt matrix, you can't even see any of this. You can't understand why I'm saying it or why I'm doing it. You won't. All right, that's it. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. I appreciate all my followers. Please if you like, please subscribe, hit the reminder button. Okay. When I pop up videos, I appreciate it all. This is a place, before I end it, this is a place you don't have to be embarrassed about your financial decisions that you've made. This is a place that will give you answers to all the financial mistakes you've made. And you can come and say, hey man, I messed up. I'm so dumb that I did this. I won't, because it's not like that. That's a wake-up call. That tells me, and I'll show you guys, that tells me that you are recognizing and realizing there's something wrong, and it's been wrong for years. And it's the place you can say that. Because people in the debt matrix, they want to continue to front the facade until one day they are forced to. I don't want you to get to the point to where you're forced to show all the other people in the debt matrix you're broke, even though they're broke too. When you're forced, like you lose your job or something, then you're forced to sell everything, and then the other people in debt matrix, oh man, yeah, I feel so bad for them, not realizing everything is based on one job. They're one job loss away from being in the same situation you're in today. But if I can get you to realize that right now, that you're one job loss away from everything changing, you can change it right now to where one job won't affect you at all. If you lost a job, you take your time finding the next one. That's what I can do for you. But you must recognize today, you're in the debt matrix. If you lost your job today, would everything change? If it would, I can help you. I'm the only channel on YouTube no, I'm not gonna say. I'm one of the rare channels on YouTube that will help you and point you in the right direction. You guys have a wonderful Sunday. All right, bye-bye.